Could it be time for a little bit of testimony right here? When I first come amongst the Pentecostal people and seen them dance on the floor, now that was just too much for my self-styled Baptist ways, So I said, looky here. Now, dancing belongs out to other type of people. I said, not religious people. I hear the music go to playing, the people go to crying, they go to shouting, after a while somebody starts dancing. I could say, I don't want to be critical, but I'd be afraid to say something against God. It wouldn't be right. I never did criticize anything like that. And I said, but I can't get that. I said, I wish I could see that in the Bible. And one night I was having teaching on a chart of the second coming of Christ. And from Louisville, Kentucky, come a group of people over, and there's some young ladies. And they had, one of them was a piano player, and the other and they had cymbals and a washboard. And they could make as much music out of that as a brass band almost. And so I was teaching on the second coming, and so then a few days before that, I'd been up to Salem, Indiana, where there's some Pentecostal people, just getting acquainted with them. And they were dancing and going on, and I got to running a reference. I found out then that dancing, the first time I noticed it, Miriam began to dance. I thought, that must be from God, and the devil just patterned it off of it, you see. So then the next I noticed that David danced when he saw the ark coming down the road, see. And I thought, that's wonderful. And I noticed the king had made a rational vow one time, and his sacrifice, the first thing come from his house. And here come his daughter, and the daughter's rejoicing, dancing. And I noticed how dancing was victory. And I thought, well, maybe I just haven't got victory now. Maybe just a little bit of self has to die out yet. Wasn't long after that, I was sitting there, they just got through teaching on second coming of Christ, and all the Spirit of God just taking her time moving in. It was on a New Year's night. So I'd been teaching about 2 hours. So they're all sitting around, a great group of people in my tabernacle. So they sort of have a special, and so I said, I believe we got some folks from Louisville back there. Some of them wrote a little note and put on there and wanted to play a special. Well, I said, come ahead. And so these 3 or 4 little ladies got up and come up. One got on the piano, and she started playing. There's going to be a meeting in the air. And when she started, this lady started these cymbals on this washboard and then hitting a tin can now and then like that. It got pretty good, So I noticed then after a while, there's a little girl jumped out on the floor there and started dancing up and down, jumping around. I thought, right in my own church. Here it is. Now, I'm rooting for this. So I kept watching her, and, I kept hearing that lady playing on that piano. I believe there'd been 3 or 4 decks of keys. She could have played them. She's just playing God's own Son will be the leading one at the meeting in the air, and she'll no more get halfway out of that than she'll be started again. I thought, And she's got real white in the face, and her eyes closed and playing like that. I thought, I got to feel pretty good, got patting my foot with that girl. I thought, maybe that's just my Methodist foot anyhow. So I started patting her with, wasn't very long ago I was out there with that girl that evening. I got the victory. Well, that's what it takes, isn't it? The victory. Just get away from self and just let the Holy Spirit have the right of way. Say, well, it said decently in order. It'll be decently in order. Just let it go. See, the Holy Spirit.